721 in St. Louis, 821 in Washington, D.C. is where we find White House correspondent Ann Compton with ABC News. Good morning, Ann Compton.
Well, good morning from the White House, where, McGraw, I think it's back to the drawing boards on tonight's speech.
Yeah,
You think?
I would say so. I guess it's a fluid situation with all this news going on this morning.
Well, it is, and the fluid situation. That's the word Secretary Clinton, former Secretary Clinton, used last night. This is a fluid situation, but here's the deal: the president tonight will continue to ask Congress for what's called the authorization for use of military force, because he thinks the threat of a precise U.S. attack is what has brought Syria around to try to cut a deal to avoid it. And the Russian plan, as it seems to be emerging, and it's no fine print yet, the deal seems to be if Syria will allow the UN to come in and scoop up and put together and lock up under lock and key all of the Syrian chemical weapons, then there would be no need for a U.S. attack. And the president called this a modestly positive development. He's a little suspicious. One of his foreign policy aides here told us, look, at those chemical weapons are spread all over the place there. And how do you go safely gather them all up in the middle of a civil war? So it's not quite as simple as it sounds.
This, they say, was an off-the-cuff remark by Secretary of State Kerry, but also some people are saying that President Obama spoke to Russian President Putin last week when you were with him in St. Petersburg. Do we have any more information?
That's right. And the White House hasn't matched that exactly, although the president did tell one of his interviewers on PBS last night that he has spoken to Putin about this. It's a little murky about exactly the roots of this, but for years, the world has called on Syria to give up its chemical weapons. What the exact conversations in the last 4 days have been, we don't know. The White House certainly never told us that was one of the things kind of offered on the table when the two presidents spoke for about 20 or 30 minutes, just kind of nose to nose in the corner of the summit room. So we're going to have to see, and maybe the president will put some clarity on this now. But the fact of the matter is, because Russia's offered this, because the UN sounded excited about it, because apparently this morning Syria has said, yeah, it'll go along with that. The Senate has put off its vote on its initial votes on authorization of military force. The president is told Diane, sorry, it'll be a couple of weeks before anything really happens on this. So the international community does have some time to see about this.
It's on the one hand, when President Obama says that he wants the hammer from Congress, that is very George Bush of him, is it not?
Probably so. A lot of people thought all of this threat of using force all along has been very reminiscent of the predecessor, for whom he didn't have a whole lot of respect.
Yeah. A couple of weeks, he could go along and hide all this stuff. Are we not giving him a giant opening to hide the chemical weapons?
Absolutely. And if that's why the president still wants the ability to go in and strike, because if these weapons are scattered all over the place, I don't know the Syrian terrain well enough to know where they would be hiding these things or protecting them, but it would obviously take a while to go in and get a hold of everything and put it into some kind of condition where they are safe, and then eventually dismantled. So this is not a simple tale unwinding. It's kind of intriguing, isn't it? But it's strange how this story has morphed in the last 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, it's also we should also make note of the fact that, let's say they do go in and get these chemical weapons, the civil war continues, and they will continue to kill their own people, just not with chemical weapons.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And all of those who are tracking this are aware of it. Well, even Secretary Clinton called it yesterday a fluid situation. You and I are standing in the middle of like the roaring Missouri River washing around us, and we don't know what the next tide's going to bring.
So all we know is that President Obama is speaking to the country tonight. That's the next step.
8 p.m. Central Time, ABC News Radio will carry it live, and we will see to what extent he gives some credence to this idea of a diplomatic way out, and what he says to the American people who, as he's been arguing this for the last 4 days, his positives and his support among the American people has not been going up in the newest ABC News Washington Post poll.
Yeah, and Compton, one note, you've had a front seat to this for the last couple of weeks with you traveling to St. Petersburg, and we spoke as you were waiting to watch President Obama come out of the motorcade and shake Putin's hand.
Oh, yeah, we tried to get that on live for you. He came out, it was a no smile, polite handshake, then a little bit of chatter and a modest smile. But look, at the two men know that they are leaders of significant powers, and they have to do business with each other as much as they dislike some of the positions each side takes. So they kind of swallowed it and sat down together and talked for about 20 minutes. And this relationship is like all of them are going to have it's going to have its ups and downs.
And Compton, great work as always. Thanks for checking in. Have a good day.
McGraw, thanks.
And Compton, ABC News White House correspondent, live from the White House. We spoke with her live, as you heard, from St. Petersburg, Russia. A front row seat to this ongoing saga. The best coverage right here each morning on the Big 550 KTRS with our partnership with ABC News. And Compton, no one's better. Nobody is better. And we're thrilled to have her. 728 here on the Big 550 KTRS.